As you can see, today's module is a big one, and so I thought it would be best if I walked you through the information. I want to make sure that you get all of the information and you understand what you're looking at. Today we start the group client proposal project, and this project you will be producing a proposal to do VCT related work. It's important to note that you will not actually be doing the production of the work, but you will be producing a proposal to try and earn the work, if you will. So you have been put into groups. You'll get that information here shortly. And your group was also going to be assigned a scenario. You'll also be assigned different roles within your group. For the remainder of the semester, this will be the main project that you're working on. We're going to break this down into chunks, and so we'll be working in different phases. As you can see in today's module, the lecture for today is Project Management Phase 1. Last week I introduced you to the process of project management. We're going to go in depth in 4 different phases of project management. And along with that, we'll be doing the client proposal project sort of in tandem. So you'll learn about the different phases each week, and then you will execute part of the proposal within that. You'll also see Basecamp information here. This is a tool, project management tool, that you're going to be using to communicate with your team, and will also help me understand what's going on with your project during the process. This will give you instructions on how to use Basecamp. It's actually pretty straightforward, but you will also be receiving an invitation from Basecamp to join your group. This is going to be your main communication method. Okay, so let's get into the client proposal project. Okay, in the assignment for the client proposal project, you'll see a PDF of the instructions for the project. This will have a whole bunch of detail in here. There's also the project or the progress report template that you can use. There's an example in here. And there's the group evaluation sheet that you'll use to evaluate your team members. So that's all here, but let's get into the instructions. When you click on this PDF, you'll get this document here. Okay, so the final due date for this project is going to be Thursday, May 9th at the very end of the day. So you have all the way up until 11:59 p.m. to turn this in. Note that there's going to be other things that'll be due before this due date, as you'll see here shortly. There'll be things like progress reports that are due. So what you're going to produce is a client proposal based off a scenario that I'm going to give to you. And you're going to be working as a group to produce this. It's going to require research. It's going to require lots of things to put this together. So, and then each person will be assigned a different role within the group. Okay, again, like I said, you're going to use Basecamp as your primary communication tool. It's an online website, so you don't need any special software or anything like that to access it. You just need an invitation from me once I get that all set up. Okay, so what you're going to be turning in the end by May 9th are these progress reports. Those are going to come along the way. There's due dates every week, which you can see down here. You're going to turn in the client proposal as a PDF file, and you're going to send this via Basecamp. And then you're also going to turn in your group member evaluation sheet. And that will, allow you to give some feedback on the performance of the other members in your group. Okay. This says some class periods will be dedicated to allowing you time to work on this project as a group, but there's really only one. Unfortunately, we have a shorter semester this year. So again, Basecamp, you're going to use that. You may also need to meet face-to-face. I am perfectly fine with that. If you have other methods that you want to use for collaboration, that's completely fine. But I do want you to use Basecamp to be posting files, drafts of documents, other communication, so I can see what's going on as well. But if you need to do, smaller conversations, that's perfectly fine to do in any way your group decides. Okay, so let's look at due dates. So today's April 16th. The project's being introduced. You're going to be getting your team assignments here shortly. By next Tuesday, I would like the first progress report turned in by the end of the day. And progress report number 2 is going to be due the following Tuesday, and then the third one will be due the Tuesday after that. I will give you May 7th. There's not going to be any new lecture material or assignments or anything like that. This is just dedicated time for you and your group to work on this project, but note that it will likely require you to work outside of the normal class time, which I know this is an online class, so that's kind of weird, but you will definitely need to be meeting outside of class however you choose to do it, whether you do it in person or if you do, FaceTime or whatever. Whatever method you choose is fine. But I will give some dedicated time, meaning no new content for the day, to let you contribute to that. And then the final proposal, as I said, will be due May 9th by 11:59 p.m. It cannot be late. Canvas won't even allow you to turn it in late. So make sure you get it in by then. And then the next day, I'd like you to make sure you have your group member evaluations turned in for me so I can grade this entire thing. Okay, so the project itself is going to be worth 140 points total, which is pretty significant. So it's definitely in your best interest to do a good job on this. 105 of those points will be assigned for your proposal structure and design. And this says instructor here because that means that I'm going to be the one grading that portion of the assignment. Progress reports, I will also be grading. Those are worth 5 points each, so for a total of 15 points. And then 20 points of the 140 point total will go toward the way your group members evaluate you. Really important to note, if you don't participate at a sufficient level during the project, your grade will be affected on a percentage scale. So even though we have this 20-point evaluation, if you participate less than that, and I hear about it from your team members and we don't find a corrective course of action, then I will reduce your overall grade and you won't get the same grade as the rest of your team. Okay, some possible scenarios. I just want you to see an example here that you may or may not be assigned. Each group is going to be assigned a different track in VCT. So for example, if you get assigned this photography scenario, the example would be that you're a local photography business and you're running this proposal to pitch to the City of Bowling Green Parks and Recreation Department to capture their youth sports and programs contract for the 2019-2020 year. And I've given you their website so you can read all about what they do and understand their business a little more. Giving you a budget of $13,000 to do so. And so what you'll do is you'll write this proposal trying to get this work. Okay. Group members will be assigned, as I said. So there will be a project manager, an editor, someone in charge of creative, and someone in charge of sales. So these are the rest of the scenarios. Okay, and then I want to get to the team members and responsibilities. So in each group there will be a project manager, an editor, creative, and sales, as I mentioned. The project manager is the one who is going to lead the team, let the team know what their due dates are, and keeps all team members on track. They will also communicate with me about your group. If you have any questions or concerns that you guys have, I want that to come from the project manager. They will be also responsible for producing and uploading the 3 progress reports. They're going to be responsible for putting together the Gantt chart and timeline that will also go into the proposal. And they're going to assist in research for the proposal. The editor will be the one who also researches. Everybody's going to do research. You'll see that here. They will be the person that's in charge, who will lead the charge of edits, updating the proposal, and managing the overall structure of the content that's in the proposal. They will be the one who kind of, everybody's going to write parts of the proposal, but it will be the editor's job to make sure that it all flows and sounds like it's coming from, one voice. Okay, the editor is also the one who will submit the proposal document at the end of the project, and they're going to be responsible for creating the work breakdown structure schedule. So you might not know what some of these things are yet, and that's fine. As we go along in this process, you'll learn what these are. Okay, the creative person, again, research, and they're going to lead the charge of layout and creative structure of the proposal. They will also lead the charge of the design concept of your solution. They'll be responsible for creating the company's logo and or branding. And then the salesperson not only is going to do research for the proposal as well, but also lead the charge of budget numbers and cost analysis, provide the overall quote for the work, and they're going to lead the charge in analyzing the proposed project feasibility and the client project Gantt chart. Okay, so there's a breakdown in here. You can read through all of this that shows what each section of the proposal is and what types of information it will contain. We'll go over this in lecture as well as we go through the steps. I mentioned that each week we're going to be tackling small portions of the proposal. So for example, the first week we're going to talk about this executive summary and introduction and the assessment. And the following week we'll go through the proposed solutions and the concept for the solution. And then we'll be talking about timeline, budget. Your proposal should have a meet the team section, and then an evaluation section that goes into your proposal. How you're going to evaluate whether or not your proposed solution is effective or not. Okay, and this is different from your group evaluation sheet. I need to clarify because a lot of people think this is the same type of thing. You'll also need to include sources of information. So anywhere you do your research, and when I say research, I'm talking about things like getting pricing, like how you're evaluating your pricing, or just research on the problem at hand and potential solutions and things like that. Again, we'll get into this more in depth in lecture. So it'll be very important that you're following along in lecture as well, so that you know what you're doing in the proposal project. Okay. And then just overall design of the document is, worth a few points too. It should look like it goes together. You shouldn't have pages that look like they're designed by somebody different. It shouldn't look like just a boring old Word document like this document is. It should be organized, easy to read. I've got some examples that I can show you here too. It should cover all of the different sections of the proposal. You need to have your sources of information and APA format, that type of thing. Okay. And then I also mentioned that your progress reports will be due each week. So the dates and times are listed there. You can download a template for reporting on your progress with this document. And if you're still not sure how to use that, you can look at this example to know kind of what I'm looking for. Okay, and then this last page that you'll find in this document is just an evaluation sheet that you'll use at the end of the project to evaluate your team members. Okay, let's go back in the module here to see what else is through there. Okay, in the module, you'll also see some examples from past semesters. So you can take a look at those and look at the overall proposal. That's what these two examples are. If you want to look at just some very specific sections in the proposal, I've provided some examples there. I may add to this if anyone needs it. Okay, so that is all having to do with the client proposal project. I would like you to read chapters 7 through 12 in the book, and that is going to be due by next Tuesday. And again, your first progress report is due by next Tuesday as well. If you guys have any questions, certainly feel free to give me a call, send me an email, send me a text, whichever. I don't want you guys to, get off track here. We only have a few more weeks left in the semester, and it'll be important that once your teams are assigned, that you guys start working right away. Start figuring out, like I said, what you want your team name to be, really understanding your role and figuring out how you guys are going to communicate other than Basecamp, and when you're going to be working on this project together. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Again, any questions, certainly let me know. And then I want to get to the team members and responsibilities.